Hey everyone, it is April 8th, so Wednesday night. So let's just start. We're gonna have people join us in progress, but I like to be on time and want to get a lot of good information out in the last couple of days. We've had a lot of good developments. So let me go ahead and share a screen and making sure that everybody can just see it tonight. So it's cool. So tonight we're starting pretty much a 60-minute schedule once we have people on. They generally had a couple of people that were not going to make it tonight. One of our people was actually building a Mac Mini and using OpenClaw, and it was up, 18 hours into it. So tonight we're going to talk about who's this for. We're looking for operators and builders, not spectators. So you leave knowing how these pieces connect in the deal flow. So this weekend, RCIsystems.com will be launched. It'll be available on Sunday, April 12th. So what it is and what people versus people want to think it is. People are going to think they're going to log in, they're going to go there and they're actually going to, that's where everything's going to happen at. It's not. It's basically going to give all the information, kind of show, talking about what RCIC is and how, it's going to be a lot of, it's going to be blog based. We're going to be using a blog spot by primarily because I want to be able to blog about RCIC and AI and help teach people AI, but it'll also have the entry point to have basically the entry level. We got some people coming on, so as they come in, we'll go ahead and introduce them to Hey, LaDon, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. How are you? Yeah, just starting usually. We have a couple people that are going to be out tonight. They already let me know. So I usually, when people aren't able to make it, I send them the recording the next morning. I prioritize the people that regularly come on. So if you ever can't make it, just let me know, and I try to make sure you get it because we put most of the recordings I put on the YouTube channel and they're public. But some of them, sometimes we do have some that we don't put on there. We put them as unlisted, so they only are like if we talk about actual deals and people ask me, I usually we'll record it for everybody in the group because everybody has access to it. But people outside the group can't see them if they're like if people have requested that. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm kind of just going over some of the updates. And since you came aboard, there's been a few significant updates. So one of the things,
Okay.
and then feel free to ask questions too, because I know you're gonna have a little bit of time to yourself probably. I know I've got a couple other people coming on. So Wednesdays is usually our slower night. When Thursday night we might have 20 people. Uh,
Okay.
Wednesday we usually have 4 or 5 people. I try to do both because I'm going to be breaking it up. As I'll talk about tonight, I'm building a version in Claude, which everyone gets as well, besides GPT if they want it. But it's for me, it's included, so nobody has to pay a penny more, and they'll get the Claude version. They just have to have a Claude subscription as well. So I'll talk about that. But this weekend is April 12th on Sunday. The RCIsystems.com is going live. It'll have a lot of the information on RCIC, what it is, who it's for, what it does, and then it'll also have, where people can actually get the onboarding and they can pay for it. The pricing will actually be for core. After this, everybody got in for $399 for life. After this, core will be $1,000. There's a total of 7 GPTs, and core will be 1,000. Any two of the remaining, actually, because we're giving rehab and scope engine with everybody. So the remaining 5 that are available, any two would be another 1,000. All 7 of them will be $3,000, and then if they want the Claude version as well, then there'll be a total of $3,500 for all 7 of them. No, so of course you've already got it. So you're locked in for life. Everybody that's in now is locked, basically has it. Anything I build in the future is included.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So let me get Tanya's coming on board. She's been around for a little while. So hey Tanya, let's see.
Yeah, I still need to finish some of mine. I worked on some of it and then I get my ADHD is crazy, bro. I get everywhere. But yeah, I got some things done like and then I got like sidetracked with it like telling me how to kind of like set up CRM and everything. So I was doing that and I got that done and
And
then
what you
I
would do, I mean, by the way, you're getting your buy boxes and your markets and like that market guide, and you could just like add it to the ad photos and files. and just basically have it read it and establish your markets. In the future, when you want to add markets, like you want to add, then you just put that in there and you ask it to duplicate it, and you give it the counties and zip code you want to add. The good thing is, Tanya just came on, and since you're in Arkansas, she's actually in the Wake of the Ozarks in Missouri. So by Springfield.
Oh, okay. Very
I
close.
wanted to connect you, Tanya. I wanted to connect you to LaDawn. She came on board Saturday. And so she's in Arkansas, so not too far from you. So that's cool. So obviously our first person for Arkansas. Hey Fred, what's up? So you just come on. Yeah. So and then we can do a one-on-one session as well. If you want, then you can we can do a one-on-one Zoom. What I'll do is I'll walk you through it. Some of the things, if you got questions, if you have one, then I'll have you share a screen with me and show you what you built.
Okay.
So that way, if you get, and like I said, if you ever get like stuck, like you just something just you just need like one thing fixed or something, or maybe just understand it, screenshot or copy and paste it. Hit me up on Messenger. I'm in Colorado, so like I said, right now it's 5:05. Hit me up on Messenger between 8 o'clock in the morning and noon my time, and literally I am literally live. I can literally have a solution back to you in a few minutes. Sometimes it's just a wording or it's a prompt or something that just basically goes off, and the light bulb goes off in the AI. It's not you, and it basically works. It's phenomenal that way. So I'm always available to do those live leaks, those live tweaks. If you want to do a one-on-one, just hit me up. Generally, I try to do them in the afternoons or evenings, so I can make myself available in the morning for those tweaks. Because most people, a lot of times I'll wake up at like 7 my time, and I'll be operational by 8, and people will have those tweak. They'll be like, "Hey, it's selling this. What do I do?" It doesn't drift or hallucinate like people say it does, because the GPT is strong. I've put over 12,000 pages of material into it, and all 19,000 planning and funding contacts. So it's pretty thorough on what it will do. But sometimes, like when people get started, sometimes it's just people don't, for whatever reason, people aren't used to how it, or they've had the free version of GPT, and it's like nothing. It's the difference is night and day between the free version and the paid version. And then when you got a GPT you're working in that is built, it's awesome. It's something like presets. It's really just kind of learning your way, learning around it. You can't make a mistake. If you ever get any questions on this prompt screen, they'll talk about modes. So just go to modes and ask for learning mode, and ask learning mode will teach you anything about it, and any real estate investing topic, asset class, strategy, or anything in learning mode. And then when you want to get out of learning mode, just put return to default, and it'll go back to the start of the modes. That's all. That's pretty much. It's like pretty simple. There's some things that we've done that are getting a little bit more complicated, like adding HomeWise and things, but it's pretty. You'll get it down pretty quick. So don't fret over that. It's pretty. Once it gets rocking and rolling, you're gonna be awesome. I'm gonna give everybody an update on the Claude build as well. Let me check in with Tanya and Fred. What's going on with you two? Hey, Tanya, what's up?
It's all good.
Did you get the skip tracing prompt?
Yeah, I got it more functional, so that's been really helpful.
Cool. Let me know if I need to tweak it.
Okay.
I'm trying to get Eric to come on so he can kind of show what he did to it after he started using it for me, and that's when he took those 1,000 properties down to 10.
That would be really fantastic.
Yeah, I want to get him on. Him and he and Amanda have been working together. Amanda's a little under the weather, so she's not going to be on. And Curtis put in the 22 hours. Curtis is really spending a lot more time on this than I am. So I love Curtis, but yeah, he's probably not going to be on tonight. But yeah, I'm glad that it's working for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been good. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Fred, what's going on? How's Alabama?
It's not bad right now. Hey, I've been working with that skip trace and prompt.
Yeah.
And I've gotten it to the point where it builds me some nice spreadsheets to track the KPIs and stuff for that, but it's not returning any numbers and values, and it's telling me that that's something it can't do. Are you guys seeing something else with that?
Yeah, and I'm seeing Now I'm saying something else, but Eric has really gone another level, and I'm trying to get him on to show me because he keeps like, "Hey, what I did is going to blow your mind," and I'm like, "I want him to blow my mind because it was already blowing my mind when I built it."
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good. And then I tell you another thing I ran into with it, and I'm pretty sure it's just something I'm doing, but I can't get a project. I can start it like I started my skip tracing project,
Yeah,
and when I went into the RCIC GPT to start the skip trace
yeah,
chat, it
yeah.
won't let me move that into a project. And the only thing it's allowing me to do right now is it's built me a prompt and it says, "Hey, I'm operating like RCIC is, but I don't know if it's just under the rules, if it's got all the
Well,
data."
have you tried just opening a project without going to the GPT? Because you should be able to do that by now.
Yeah, I can easily open the project. It's just I just want to make sure I'm actually.
No, go put that prompt in a project, and it's because eventually what happens is the GPT is really going to be powering everything. You guys will still be working in your projects, and eventually, yeah, it's pretty cool that way. Like eventually you can go to the GPT and get all the information. Yeah, and but then go put that into a project because I'm trying to
Okay.
show everybody how I set it up in my laptop because I have skip tracing, I have the market reality assessment before that. And then I have like, comps and the ARV are separate projects. And the reason, and obviously, deal intelligence or through foreclosures and VI and all that, is the first level. So that's kind of right now going to be the manual mode for everybody is kind of having those set up as 5 or 6 projects. We just flow, and then you kind of just use projects you can open the chats that are in projects to basically run those. But eventually what it's going to be doing is training your system basically you'll be able to run it from the prompt and it'll all go together at some point because it's not.
Well, and
Yeah,
it says it's like, "Hey, I'm operating as RCIC," but it won't allow that original chat I started
yeah.
from the GPT. It says, "Hey, I can't move it up into that project." So I just had it write me a prompt, and it's like, "Hey, I'm operating under RCIC rules," but then I got stuck with like, "Hey, it won't return any."
Well, that's what I'm
Like,
trying. Just see if you could just open a project for skip tracing and just put that prompt in there and try to run it that way. And then let me know if you get stuck. If you get stuck,
yeah,
then copy and paste what it says and send it to me on Messenger.
I'll shoot it over to you just because it's like it's working, but I just don't know for sure.
That's why I keep saying the light bulb analogy. Like something just like you get the prompt just worded, like something tweaks, and all of a sudden it's like off to the races. That's what happened to Eric because Eric and I did like two or three one-on-ones and a little bunch of tweaks, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Dude, I just did 1,000. I pulled ARVs, comps, market MRA, skip tracing, got down to 10." I'm like, "That's awesome." He did it in 12
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, because I would love it if you could bounce off the skip tracing, look at my buy box, and say, "Here, spit out. Hey, here's these 5 properties. These are your hot ones. Go."
That's what it's supposed to be doing. So, and I think that's just how I think it's just really getting that skip tracing prompt because most people are having to pay for skip tracing. Because also remember, and this goes for everybody. How many of you knew that have ever thought about what if this property, the current homeowner that's in foreclosure has had a permit pulled on it recently or at all or anything? The AHJs are going to have that information. They're going to have the person. I literally have not been able to not find because you guys see the NEDs, those documents that I pull, even though every state could be different how it's formatted. You can pull those NEDs, those notice of defaults, and all those documents because they got served. They're all legal documents that get served on people. So the information on those has to be our legal documents. That if it just got served on foreclosure, it's going to have the most recent the information that the court or the county clerk or whoever the sheriff or the trustee is going to have on that. Because a lot of times it's sheriff's deputies serving that or process servers, but process servers still have to be certified they served everybody. So a lot of people, the list sellers, what people don't understand is the list sellers and wholesalers and prop techs don't give you that information. They don't if you're paying for skip tracing with props, prop wire or Dream, whatever deal machine and all that, they're not giving you the information to be able to skip trace it for free because they want to charge you for it. And they have that information because they're getting it. You guys are getting the information straight from the AHJ, just like they do, but they're not giving it to you if you're buying leads from them. So
I got you. Yeah.
people just don't understand that because they've always been dependent on those prop tech companies, which are, I don't know how much market value. I can tell you guys just today, I've seen probably 5 people just in Claude or Chat GPT or, any kind of AI groups that aren't even real estate anybody. They're just building stuff because because a lot of these gurus for AI went out and told them that was on the list of things that they could monetize pretty quickly as deal analyzers for real estate investors. And I'm like, how many? Because I'm trying to tell people, even the people that have real estate, I have respect for at least the prop tech, the people that are real estate, that have been around like I have, because like I said, nobody else has that all that the library and all the funding contacts and lending contacts that I do. And I don't like brag about it. It's like I just, for me, I was like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? When I was building a website, there was no way I was going to be able to build one website that would have all the information I have. Whereas here in AI, I'm able to input it all for everybody, and you guys are using it. And I have it all manually because a lot of it's in those Facebook groups and the files tabs, especially the associates group. So it's kind of cool. So it's a lot of information, but I see that all the time now, and I'm on Reddit, and it's because I'm studying more and more about AI. So I can kind of help everybody else as you guys start getting your deal flow, your workflow and everything going, you guys can start tapping into more, resources. I'm trying to find out, how to do things without having to have any spend, because that's important to a lot of people. And I started taking Claude serious enough that I got a paid account the other day. And it's weird because it's $20 is the same that I'm paying on my personal GPT. Obviously I have a business that, the business one is what you guys see with developer mode, where I'm paying like $60 a month on Friday, that because I got a special promotion. It's going on at $50 a month, but I have myself and Jesse Page are both using that. But it's funny that ChatGPT, I could literally like live in it for a month and be working solidly for a month without sleep if I could, and it would never limit me. Whereas Claude, literally an hour, even if it's a $20 a month, I'm limited. So I'm able to build in Claude. Well, I built an RCIC, but in GPT, but I have 1,500 hours into building the GPT. I'm already probably 25%. I've only got maybe 8 hours into it, and I probably got 25% of RCI already doubled, duplicated. And it's actually coming out of, if you guys saw some of those posts I made earlier on Facebook on my main page, it's having visuals and stuff. And I'm trying to tell people what I don't know what the delivery is going to be. Like you guys have the Bitly links and but to access it, would some people have to have a Claude subscription too? I don't know that yet. Well, you guys on my end will get it for free if you want. Ideally, I think I can actually publish it, because it was giving me that option to just say hit publish, and it would go out there, and it's going to be on the internet. And I'm like, I don't know where it's going to be yet. If I could put it into a Facebook group or somewhere that's like private, because there's a way to do that. There's private hidden where nobody even knows exists except for the people that have invitations to it, kind of like a secret society. So I can put all the analyzers in there because I've already built 6 of the 12 analyzer. And I did that in 2 days, and I'm able to take all the PDFs, everything that I've saved building RCIC. I just now input what I've already built in the PDF, so I don't have to go through there. When it would take me like 2 hours or an hour and a half sometimes to go through the conversations GPT and basically build it. Now I'm just able to input what I built already, and it's able to almost duplicate it, but it's actually making like some visuals and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna finish up all the analyzers and stuff this weekend. I'm putting up, and also what I have on the screen is I'm putting up the RCICsystems.com, which will pretty much just be like almost like a sales funnel, like a sales page. It'll have all the information. I'll put some blog articles about RCIC that I'm writing, and then it'll have like the store where people can go get the different, different components of the different modules and stuff, or the different GPTs and things. But so it's not going to be like where people can log in and actually work. So I'm putting that up, but a lot of it is next week I'm going to be doing, and I'm still putting like, I'm putting about 2 to 3 hours into Claude because I have to like literally I get rate limited. I can't do anymore for like 2 hours, and I go do another hour, get rate limited. So I'm kind of in that meantime, in those 2 or 3 hours in between, I'm working on the GPT side for all you guys, and then I'm building the Claude. But I actually think Claude will actually be able to supplement. I think it's going to be incredible. There's some things that I'm already seeing it do that GPT, it took me a while to figure out how to do it. Like I'm working on distress, how to go out and do your EDI. I think you put in, if you mentioned scraping, like just go ahead and anybody who's in there, go next time you're logged in, go out and mention scraping. And it doesn't, GPT for some reason, maybe it's OpenAI's policy that it doesn't like scraping. Claude had no problem with it. It understands scraping and going and getting information. And so it's like then you got the two different companies have two different philosophies and two different sets of guardrails. And I didn't know about Claude. I didn't know what it was 3 months ago. And I thought it was going to be something really technical and coding wise. And that's what I liked about GPT. People ask me, like I had somebody today hit me up out of a group. They said, how easy is the system? And I said, it's pretty easy if you just talk to it like normal and type into it. I mean, there's prompts and prompt chains on it. So trying to explain that, it's a little bit different, but I really wanted to do Claude because also it's able to do market share, able to pick up a lot more people that are kind of, some of it, a little bit of politics because of the situation with Iran and the Pentagon. OpenAI went and got the Pentagon contract where Anthropic pretty much told the Pentagon to screw off. And it's what they wanted to do. So I try to get some of those people in, because there's a lot of people that hit me up and they're like, oh, I use GPT. No, thanks. So I got to do it on a business sense, but I'm also, like I said, I'm going to make it available to everybody that's an RCIC already, and they can make a decision. If they don't want to spend have another subscription, then like I said, then I'll explore like getting a hidden Facebook group where you guys can all just go access all the analyzers and stuff as well, and just have that much more power. Because I think you guys will find that that'll be cool to giving you all the tools, not just it's pretty incredible what we can do with both of them. So like I said, RCIC systems will be up by Sunday. It won't affect everybody that's kind of currently into it, but like I said, the other thing is I've got a commission schedule. And so if somebody gets in for the $1,000, which is where the base is going to start now, so it's $399, and that's just core. And I'll get Rehab score engine. On your first referral, I'll pay you $400. The next 3, I'll pay you $200 each. That's $1,000 on 4, and then it starts over. So it goes 400, 200, 200. So it's 200, so 1,000. So it's pretty good if people want to refer people. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. But then we get into Funnel. So I built Core with Funnel now. Funnel, you guys will be able to ask for it. You should be able to ask for it now. If you have any problem, let me know, and I'll just send you a new Bitly link that has that, so it has it. It's kind of how things have to work. So if you're not able to get Funnel is kind of like your high-level funnel architecture, and it's got like entry points, traffic, conversation, qualification. So there's going to be 4 funnels, basically kind of like a CRM in a way. And you guys, like I said, that one PDF, which you guys can get from the RCIC Facebook group, I don't think I put it in Associates because Associates files tab is kind of convoluted. But if you go in there and get that Gmail, and you open, get the free Gmail account, then come back over and in apps, you got apps over here, and where it's more, you go to apps, and you guys can go get Gmail, and it just connect Gmail, have the login and the password. It'll connect it. Then you guys are doing, like Fred and you guys, Tanya, that you're doing your properties, your opportunities, your NEDs or nods or what, all your different documents. You can have all those deals then flow into that Gmail and kind of use it as a free CRM, a free vault in a way. You're kind of making a vault with the Gmail, and then you can access all the Google stuff. Even if you don't like Google now, you use it. It's free. So it's a pretty good deal. So there's a working model for it. So we'll just structure a deal flow. I also built Vacancy Intelligence this week, which you guys will find in Distress Intelligence or Resident Mode. You'll find it in Resident Mode in the modes. And basically is not data. It'll how to feed the funnel, but it's going to be going in there and spotting how to determine, like, if it's like multifamily or rental properties, it'll start being able to kind of it's not 100%. If you can get like 90% of knowing there's that it's vacancy, so it's probably rental property, gives you a lot more intelligence, a lot more information, and that's what this is about. So it's not just data, and then turning vacancy into conversations, and then of course, like I said, I just mentioned Gmail integration, the execution level. So the website will be the infrastructure. RCIC funnel will be the flow. Vacancy intelligence, think of it as fuel. It's more fuel, like all the different intelligence, distress intelligence. And you got execution of Gmail. So real quick, I'm gonna have a breakdown. I'm gonna have a breakdown the funnel. The funnel first. Breakdown. And then I'm gonna have a breakdown vacancy intelligence for you guys. But I'm pretty excited about doing the Claude thing. And everybody's, like I said, if everybody has to get a Claude subscription, it's just like another 20 a month. It's up to everybody else. Like I said, I'll try to find a solution for that because I don't want everybody else to keep paying subscription. That's kind of the thing about this. But I think it'll be. I'll try to find out. If we can. What I can get for you guys. Because on my end it's free. It's not going to. I've kind of told you guys that before. So the RCIC funnel is the operating structure that turns raw opportunity into controlled deal flow. So it's not marketing, it's not a landing page, it's not a pile of leads sitting in the CRM like old leftovers in the fridge. I always love these analogies it comes up with. It is movement with standards. So at the top of the funnel, you have entry points, the ways the opportunity enters your world, vacancy intelligence, referrals, direct outreach, inbound interest, partnerships, or follow-up from prior conversations. So the point is not volume for volume's sake. The point is relevant entry. So it's capture. So once opportunity shows up, it needs to land somewhere organized. If it enters and disappears in the text messages, random sticky notes, your memory, it's not a funnel. That is chaos with a motivational quote. And then after capture comes conversation. So you get a directed exchange that reveals context, need, timing, interest, and potential path forward. So it's going to be awesome. Then it gets into qualification. And so is this real? Is there motivation? Is there timing? Is there fit? Is there a next move? If the answer is weak, it does not progress. A funnel that cannot filter becomes a landfill. Nobody wants a landfill. That's what we're doing. Once qualified, the opportunity becomes the conversation path, and then it's going to become tracking and follow through. So it's entry, capture, conversation, qualification, conversion path, and tracking. So when you guys are there, next time you're in there, ask it for the funnel. Like I said, if it doesn't come up, then let me know and I'll get you the link again. That it should update. For most people, it does. It's just if it doesn't, let me know and I can fix that. Let me know in the morning. Hey, funnel's not showing up, and we'll get it tweaked. So that's my first thing, was to tweak it so it shows up, and then second, I have to replace the Bitly or the ChatGPT link. Also, guys, if that ever happens, you don't lose it. Curtis had it like core drop off for like 10 minutes. Contact me. As soon as I got the new Bitly link, it was firing all cylinders again. Also, if anybody, not that anybody's going to miss their $20 a month of OpenAI, but if they give you like 2 weeks, they just harass you. And every time you log in, hey, your payments due, your payments due, your payments due. If they do go to free, you don't lose anything. You just can't access it while it's free. As soon as you pay the $20 again, then you can use it and you can access it. So you never lose it. Unless you just totally like cancel your GPT, then it tells you that. You cancel it and you turn it off. If you want to switch to Claude or something, there's also a way where you can actually just transfer. You can actually literally, there's a procedure to transfer all your data. So it's kind of cool. So vacancy is our leverage layer. So it's giving it, it's like vacancy matters because vacant property usually signals friction, lost revenue, delayed occupancy, carrying costs, time exposure, operational drag. So in other words, something is not working the way the owner wants. That matters because pressure creates timing and timing creates conversation. So there's a lead source. It's too shallow to think of it as a lead source. Operators see vacancy and think, here is a measurable condition that may indicate motivation, inefficiency, or opportunity. That changes the posture completely. So it's going to help you locate pressure instead of guessing. Second, it's going to help you prioritize outreach. If you know it's a vacancy, it's going to help you change that conversation, and that'll happen in comms mode. Third, it helps you improve the quality of the conversation, so you're not internet blind. And then it's going to help you feed the funnel with relevance. So good funnel without good inputs is still weak. So you got vacancy intelligence. So the funnel gives structure, vacancy intelligence gives signal. So what happens when opportunity shows up? That's what the funnel answers. Vacancy answers, where should we look for opportunity first? So vacancy signal identified, opportunity enters funnel, conversation begins with context, qualification gets sharper, follow-up becomes intentional, outcomes improve. All right, cool. All right, went through that a little bit real quick. I want to show one thing real quick, just to kind of make a couple introductions because we do have some new people that joined us. Well, we're done. I was introduced you to Tanya, Fred, and Arliss, who have been in the organization for a while. All of them. So just wanted to introduce everybody that was on. She came aboard on Saturday and is from Arkansas. So yeah, just so you know, if you guys say hi and see her in the Facebook group. So LaDon, do you kind of want to give a little bit of introduction, like a background, what you're doing and what your goals are?
Sure. I just started kind of looking into wholesaling probably about 3 months ago.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to do at the moment. That's not my long-term goal, but it's like my short term. So
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just
a way to get to where you want to be.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I finished my I started out, I was gonna get my real estate license and I did finish my hours for that. But they're making me jump through so many hoops just to schedule the test. So I don't know how long it's gonna take for me
Yeah.
to get there, but I did have that going first and then kind of got into started getting curious about, wholesaling.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I mean ultimately that's kind of what I'm just
Okay.
trying to get my first deal or two.
Well, so what's going to be important for you is then when you go through the modes which is on your start screen, the one that has
Mhm.
my name on it, you're going to want to look and learn. You're going to want to look in learning mode until you're wholesaling it and how to, ask it to help you set up your wholesaling business. Also ask it about laws in Arkansas that's where you're going to be wholesaling in your area. If you're not going to be virtualing, if you're ever virtual wholesale and you go outside Arkansas, always make sure what you find out what the laws about wholesaling are in those states because they're changing. The other thing is you're going to want to use learning mode to ask it about wholesaling, and then you'll want to use wholesaling mode and you'll want to use resident mode, and then comms mode. Those are three modes. You can switch those at any time. Anytime you go in those modes, you can switch. You can go return to default. You can. I've been on here where we've done a Zoom and I've gone through like 6 modes in like 30 minutes. So you can go back and forth at will. You don't have to worry about anytime you get stuck in a mode or you want to get out to another mode, just push return to default. When you get back to default mode, then you just put what mode you want to go. You always put switch. So always the keyword is switch to TC mode, switch to whatever mode you want to be in. So that's first advice there. You're going to want to and I'll help you build your projects. We'll do one-on-one. And I'll show you, how to build your projects as a wholesaler. You're going to want distress intelligence because that's where you're going to want to be at. And I built that market guide for you, so definitely use that because it has all the direct links to the AHJs, the authority having jurisdiction, the counties and stuff that you gave me. Anytime you expand, you want to go to more, just enter that document again into ask anything, then plus or minus, which is here. And I'll give you ask, photos and files and just put it in there and then ask it to duplicate that market guide exactly, but for the new county and the new zip codes, especially if you have, you get in a Little Rock or somewhere, there's probably multiple zip codes. It could be in a city, you might have 3 zip codes that you don't want to do anything in. You can exclude that. It learns more from knows. It's about, somewhere between, generally we do a 7-day fast track, which you can actually get that file from. That actually PDF is in the RCIC Facebook group. You can download the 7-day fast track, follow that. But generally, inside about 30 days, if you do that and you do a few little things every day, and you start working it, and you start using add photos and files, things like that, it'll become predictive. So I'm gonna ask it for everybody because we have some new people that have come on. So we have new operators. Can you explain? I'd rather have it explain. Predictive. intelligence when it comes to real estate. So I'm gonna have it explain it real quick. I'll try to read through it. Like I said, I'll make a PDF if anyone wants to, because I know some people don't like me to like read it, word for word. So predictive intelligence in real estate is it's the ability to identify likely future outcomes based on current signals before the market reacts. So it's not hindsight, it's not comps, it's not what sold last month. It's reading what is about to happen and positioning before it becomes obvious. I'll actually I'll show something cool that I get about my markets in Colorado, and you can get the same reports using your agents. Don't forget, anybody, your agents are deployed again down here more. Over here, you come in, it's got all that PayPal, Google, and all that Zoom, but you can actually go into over here and you can actually start deploying your agents, which is kind of cool. You're able to deploy your agents from there, and it helps a lot. So I'll show a cool thing that I get with one of my agents. You get 40 agents a month. When you start, you get down to 36, 37, it says, well, you have 37 agents. Your next batch, you get, this date next month. So use them. I mean, they're employees. They work for you 24/7. You deploy them out there. They can do all kinds of things for you. If you guys need the agent guide, it's also in the files tab, or hit me up and I'll guide you through it. Break it down simply. Most investors operate on reactive intelligence. Listings hit the market, price drops happen, sellers raise their hand and they move. So by that point, you're late, you're competing. Predictive intelligence flips that. You're looking at conditions, behavior, patterns, and asking, what is this going to turn into in the next 30 to 90 days? Everybody here has heard that phrase, where there's smoke, there's fire. So if you start seeing an area where there's foreclosures, the next month there's more foreclosures, you should be looking at that county or that jurisdiction more carefully and start putting your agents there. Deploy an agent. Hey, you are the distress intelligence scout for whatever county and zip codes in that county. Can you connect me with the AHJs and the processes for foreclosures? And then if it's a judicial estate or non-judicial estate, put it in there. You always want to tell it what it is. And you always want to tell it what you want it to do, and then you want to close your prompt with what the outcome, what the result, what the feedback to you is. So you want to get these as a report. Now, once you have that Gmail thing set up, or you have Go High Level, or use Airtable, but if you have the Gmail set up, the free it's pretty simple. Once you have that set up, you can have all that stuff just set right to your Gmail. Then you can start filtering it into your tools in your toolbox, which you'll want to put as projects. So it's kind of cool. So core signals in real estate, in RCIC terms, predictive intelligence comes from stacking signals like vacancies, your strongest signal, empty unit, lost income, time, increasing pressure, longer vacancy, higher probability of action. So you're not waiting for a listing, you're identifying a future seller or decision maker. Time-based friction, days on markets increase and repeated listing changes. You guys, it's all, when somebody gets filed on in a county for a foreclosure, and that notice of election demand or the notice of default, any of that gets filed, it's automatic. You guys get that at the source. The prop tech companies, PropStream, Deal Machine, all of them, they don't want you to have that information. You get more information. As I've shown before, when you get a notice of election demand and anybody wants a copy, but I'll send you what one looks like. You're going to have more information than you ever thought was even possible, because not only are you going to have the information for that homeowner that's being foreclosed on, which you may not have to even skip trace at this point. You probably also you'll also have the mortgage company. You'll have the mortgage note. You'll know how much the mortgage was to begin with, how much they owe, and how much is in arrears. You'll also have the mortgage account number. You'll have the interest rate, what type of mortgage, FHA, VA, whatever it is, conventional. You'll have those terms, because they have to put those onto those documents, or legal document. They have to tell the court or the clerk or the trustee or the sheriff the details on it, right? So it's a legal document. They also have their contact information, the account number for the mortgage company. They may have their representative there. That's somebody to go to if you really like that property. You may want to go to the mortgage company and not go through the seller, or not go through an owner, because they may not be, it's really, the mortgage company may be willing to short sell or do a deal with you. If push comes to shove, guess what you also have? You also have the attorney in a law firm for the mortgage company. You have their contact, their case number, all their information. You can go to them. That's more information you're going to have. If you think about it, also, you go back to the AHJ. You might have to go back to the website, the same website. It may be a different department, unless you're like in a really big city, like God help you if you ever tried Denver's website, because it's like horrible. There's only the fire department, the jail, and the police have separate websites. Everything else is on one, there. Some counties just go there, it's the building inspector. The building inspector might have so now you put the address in or the homeowner's name and find out if they have a recent permit. Because if they have a recent permit, guess what? The contractor had to put their phone number and their email address on the permit because of access. So the building inspector can access the property if the contractor is not there. They can contact the homeowner. That information is not something that and nobody wants you to have that. The list sellers, the prop tech companies, they want to sell this to as many people as possible. They want to charge you for skip tracing. So you got time-based friction. You start getting into behavioral shifts. Owners are not responding, they're suddenly active. Problem is, by that point, by the time the list sellers and prop tech companies have got that information, they got it out, they've probably got it to 100 people who are calling those sellers. You probably had a 30-day head start. You literally can get the filing on a Wednesday morning, have your deal, have it go through your deal tools, all your analysis tools and all that. Be on the phone call to them an hour or 2 hours later after it becomes a filing. How motivating is that for that seller? They just got filed on foreclosure. You can go there and make an offer right away. Like, hey, I make an offer. And Comms Mode will walk you through different strategies on how to communicate with them in different situations. So you got pricing changes, marketing changes. You start getting operational inefficiency, poor management, underperforming assets, misaligned rents. These don't stay stable, they resolve, usually through action. So what predictive intelligence actually does, timing advantage, you show up before the competition exists. Conversation advantage, you're not cold, you're informed, your outreach has context. Positioning advantage, you're not chasing deals, you're intercepting situations before they become deals. How it connects to RCIC. All the intelligence, vacancy, all distress intelligence, early distress intelligence, signal detection. So a funnel is signal conversion. Gmail systems, go high level, Google Airtable, all that. Execution and follow-up. Predictive intelligence sits above all of it. Where should I focus before everyone else sees it? And then operator example, 2 operators look at the same property. Operator A, not listed yet, nothing to do. Operator B has a predictive mindset. They have RCIC. It's vacant 45 days, no leasing activity, rents below market, weak management. Conclusion, this is going to move. Either lease, refinance, or sell. I'm stepping in now. That's predictive intelligence. It's going to guide you through how to go get this before anybody else even knows about it. Simple framework, don't chase deals, track pressure. Don't wait for listings, watch conditions. Don't react to the market, position ahead of it. So predictive intelligence is seeing the deal before it even introduces itself. So I'm going to go ahead and run these 2 and see, and I will send them, and I will send it out first to the people that are on the Zooms before I send it post in the groups. So yeah, you guys will get it both. And then I'm going to explain compounding intelligence and how all of you work together, even though nobody can see what anybody's doing. It's a really cool concept. And then we'll probably wrap up a little bit early tonight because I want to go about 2 hours tomorrow night. Because tomorrow night I'm going to run through. For those who were on last week, I'm going to try to go through Doris's deals if she gets them to me in time. If not, we're going to go through a bunch of stuff tomorrow, like deal analysis stuff. So that's when the PDF. I'll send that out later. I'm not going to go random version. Explain. And then, we'll have time for a few questions tonight, of course. So explain compounding intelligence and how RCIC works using that, even though operators nor I can see what they are doing inside their ecosystem. Somebody actually, who is not in our group, actually complains, it's ecosystem, not ecosystem. We're like, yeah, you can. Fred and Tanya, you both know me long enough now to know what my answer to that would probably be, or probably was. So compounding intelligence is the accumulation and refinement of insights, patterns, and outcomes over time access across the system, where each interaction makes the system sharper, even if you don't directly see every output. So there are 5 of you on right now. So it's not just data growing, it's pattern recognition, improving at scale. Every one of you is on right now tonight. Let's just say you're on your own. You're working on your own deals. Okay, you see at the bottom, the very fine print where it says ChatGPT can make a mistake. I'm sure you guys all seen that in yours. OpenAI doesn't use Nate Marshall's workspace data to train its models. Nobody can actually see outside of the GPT. Nobody inside the GPT can even see what you're doing. None of you can see each other's workflow, deal flow, anything. You could all be in the same city, a larger city, obviously, like Atlanta or somewhere, Denver, somewhere. You could all be doing the same asset class, maybe even the same strategy. You're not going to have the same buy box. And so you're going to be, you literally don't have, you're not really competing with each other. Everybody's building intelligence, so it's kind of cool. So it's pattern recognition. So it's not just growing. So you're contributing to and benefiting from a system that is getting better at identifying, timing, and converting opportunity over time. So it's building intelligence. It's getting faster. It's getting more information. The more stuff you're putting in there, the more rehab stuff you're putting in there, all kinds of things, questions, you're telling it no. It's actually getting smarter and smarter. And I've actually seen this since September when we only had like maybe 5 people in it. Now we have close to 100. It's actually really, a lot of the stuff that's coming together for people is really blowing up. I'm seeing a lot of the intelligence just really improve for people. And I think it's just really, so I need to do one-on-one with you, Ladon. I need to do one with, if you want to do one too, Fred, we can work on yours, try to get that skip tracing thing figured out. So we can do the one-on-ones because, like I said, I love getting those. You guys saw that one that I got from Eric from Lulu last week about like this system is insane. I can't wait to show you what it can do, what it's doing. It'll blow your mind. And I'm like, I wanted to blow my mind because I built this, and I'm like, I want it to be even better. If somebody could 10x it or 100x it or whatever on there, what they're doing, I would like nothing more than everybody to be like blowing up and doing, just incredible things. And if it's something that you want to share with the group and we can make it better, then yeah, cool. If you want to keep it to yourself, that's up to you. But a lot of people are really just, and they're going different directions. Because like I said, almost everybody, nobody's going to have the same buy box. Even if you have the same markets and you're doing the same asset classes and even strategy, you still won't have the same, you still won't be the same, but everybody helps each other indirectly. And there's people that don't come on these Zooms or they might come on once in a while, or they don't come on all, but there's a lot of people out there just really doing incredible things with it. So I love getting those testimonials. So most operators are used to linear intelligence. You do outreach, you get results, or you don't. You learn individually. Progress is slow and isolated. So compounding intelligence is different. Multiple operators act across different markets. Signals are identified, tested, refined. Outcomes feedback into the system. The system's improved, even if you didn't personally generate that insight. So your edge isn't just your experience, it's aggregated experience plus system refinement. So why you can't see everything and why that's the point. Operators often ask, what's happening inside RCIC that I don't see? So it's the wrong frame. You're thinking like, I need visibility to trust it. But RCIC operates more like you get leverage from what you don't even have to manage or track. If every operator saw everything, signal quality drops. There's too much noise. Speed drops over analysis. Advantage disappears. Everyone reacts at the same time. So instead, the system does this. It captures patterns across activity. It identifies what's working and what's not. It refines signal quality, feeds better opportunities and frameworks back to operators. You're not blind. You're abstracted from noise. So how RCIC uses compounding intelligence, 4 layers: signal layer, input, vacancy intelligence, behavioral signals, market conditions. These signals are constantly being observed and interacted with across operators. It's all in the AI. It's all the stuff that I don't even see. Why they're paying these guys $1 million signing bonuses. They gave Peter Steinberger, who created OpenClaw, $100 million signing bonus. And then he's got $1 billion in stock options. The guy became a billionaire over OpenClaw. Action layer, conversations, outreach, funnel movement, follow-up. Every action produces feedback. What gets responses, what converts, what stalls. Pattern layer. So system learning, this is where compounding happens across multiple operators. Patterns emerge, better timing is identified, better approaches surface, inefficiencies get exposed. No single operator sees the full map, but the system does. Then you get into the distribution layer, back to you, the output, what you want, improved frameworks, sharper signals, better starting points, cleaner workflows. Your experience this feels easier, this is more predictable, I'm getting better at conversations, even if you didn't generate the official insight. The key reality, you're not meant to see everything, you're meant to benefit from everything. Why this creates leverage, compounding intelligence gives you speed, you skip trial and error, others already burned through. I believe I had 2 or 3 people contact me that were trying to, one guy was actually wanted, ask me some questions, he wanted to try to build his own. Came back to me like a week later, this isn't working, what do you do? And I'm like, do you want my deal stack? And I tried to tell him, he goes, that works. Then he tried to build it again. Now he's actually in RCIC. Because he couldn't, because you guys remember I got 1,500 hours into this. So everybody's advantaging 12,000 plus pages of material and 19,000 contacts, lending contacts and fund contacts. So I tell everybody, and I like don't brag, it's like hell, I paid for all that stuff. And over 8 years, a lot of trial and error, a lot of money, and a lot of, sometimes things didn't just go, you can ask Kevin and Jesse because they've been around since 2019 with me. So it's a lot that has gone into this. And what I'm able to do with Claude now, I'll probably have Claude fully functional inside of a month. And then, we'll figure out how, if it's a benefit. Obviously, if you guys want it, 100% free for me. I just don't know how it get, it basically operates as far as, access, like the bit links and stuff. And so we'll come up with something that works for everybody, and I have no problem doing individual, if somebody wants to use it. It's pretty cool. If you guys see the post I made earlier, you can see that it kind of makes things a little bit more visual, which I like. And GPT for some reason wasn't doing that. It was wanting me to outsource it. So it's just really kind of different philosophies of the 2 different companies. But both these companies, OpenAI is probably going to be a $1 trillion company after their IPO late this year. And Anthropic will probably it'll be somewhere between a half and 500 billion and $1 trillion. So you're talking about 2 companies that collectively will be worth almost 2 billion between the 2 of them, 2 trillion between the 2 of them. That doesn't include Meta, Google, obviously, and obviously Elon. So compounding intelligence gives you speed, like I said, accuracy. Signals get cleaner over time. You aim better. It's like training a sniper in the military. The more you get the signals, the better it gets. The cleaner, the better they get. Efficiency, less wasted outreach, more relevant conversations. Scale without complexity. You don't need to track 1,000 variables. The system distills what matters. When you go in and put your buy box, your markets, you start looking at your tools, you start entering deals, you basically start, the system's going to start processing them. And it's going to, everybody that's on right now, if you're, like I said, if you're in there doing all the same things, it just basically helps everybody. That's the cool thing is I built something where everybody can actually talk to each other and share information on a Zoom or, together. We had several people get together the last couple of weeks talking about disposition, like Amanda and Eric and a few other people. And it's like, they're actually benefiting from conversations they're having with each other. You don't have to feel like you're giving up a state secret. It's awesome now. Like everybody's able to build some real relationships. Unlike any of the groups where people are competing and nobody wants to give information. Operator example, operator A, no compounding system, test the messaging alone. That's how everybody was. Takes 3 months to refine, learn to move it to data. The operator B, all of you step into refined signals. User uses improved frameworks and benefits from 50 plus operators. Now there's about 100 combined learning. Operator B compresses time dramatically. So the mental model to anchor RCIC is not just a network, it's a learning system. Every action feeds the system feeds better actions back. So compounding intelligence means the system gets smarter every time anyone uses it, and you benefit whether you saw it or happen or not. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about those. Let me see real quick. I want to go and show you guys. Always make sure, especially you guys are new, like LaDanya, always want to use projects here as much as possible when you get to that level. Chats are great. Chats are temporary though. When you're having a discussion, use a chat. You guys can see and everybody's, I know Tanya and Fred, you've probably heard me say this, especially Arliss, you've heard me say this a lot. I was using chats. I didn't really even until like almost February even start using my first project. Now I use projects. You guys can see that I have a ton of them now. I run almost everything through projects. Obviously, you got GPTs. Tomorrow night, I'll show the GPT a little bit because there's some people on it. And I'll show you where the apps are, where you guys connect to different apps. I want to show you do something because you guys see me and tomorrow, right before we start, I'll have 4 emails sent to me by the system. And I have 3 on Monday and 3 on Saturday. I get 10 a week. Use 10 of my 40 agents. So I get these updates. So let me show you guys. And it takes a second for this to populate, mainly because chats also fill up with information, so they slow down, whereas projects don't. So this will take a minute probably to populate. I'm going to show you one of these reports that I get, and you guys can get the same thing. You'll get it on a screen, you can have it sent to your Gmail if you use that option. Like I said, if you don't use Gmail for anything else, it's free. Open the Gmail account, follow that PDF. It takes about under 5 minutes, and then you can actually flow a lot of updates and stuff to it and separate that, and then you can start breaking it down. These are in Colorado. Obviously, I get 4 of them. I'll get another one nationally. Let me go and see if it's a little slow, so I don't know why. If it's going to be too slow. If it is, I'll probably not be able to show it, but I'll try to show it. Maybe I'll have to pull up the other one. I'm trying to do this.
Nate, will you repeat what you were saying about the Gmail app?
Well, because
Oh.
I thought we set it up on your one-on-one, didn't we? On the Gmail. Because if you go to
Yeah,
if you go to here, it won't go to me right now because it's populating. Like it doesn't let you. It doesn't let you sometimes when it's populating, like in the chat, because the information is heavy. So there's apps. They're in the sidebar. You can go to it. It'll say more. If it doesn't say apps, it'll say more. You click on it, then the apps will be in the more in a drop down, and then you go to there and it'll say Gmail. It's one of the apps you can pull up. You want to look in productivity because there's also lifestyle and there's another one. So you want to look in productivity and you can scroll down to Gmail. It says connect to Gmail. You'll want to go to gmail.com and set up your Gmail account before that and get the, like you did. I think, Tanya, you did that twice.
yeah.
Yeah. Then you want to come back because it's going to ask you for your login and your password. And then you can direct it with a prompt to send all your distress intelligence and all your lead information.
Okay. I was trying to remember the reason to do that.
Well, some people are using Go High Level, or they're
Okay.
using some other like a CRM that may be like a third party, which is fine. I don't know because it'll connect with Go High Level as well. It's in that, but Gmail is free, and I'm kind of like at this point, if there's really, Gmail is obviously Google, so it's not going anywhere. It's all these apps they thoroughly vet. Like they don't let you build a GPT in the GPT store unless it's it's so it's it's going to be there, so you can just kind of use it as a repository and kind of get all your information there, and then you can more readily check it. This may not populate as fast as I want. Let's see if I can try to. I'm gonna try to refresh it real quick and see because it's slowed down a little bit for me. I'm going to go to the exit page. Let me stop share and try to get back to it real quick and show you guys.
I have another question that you prompted. So when we're in projects, can we go into learning or comms mode or some of the other modes, or where do you access those?
You can do it. Well, you can't go into the mode from there, but you can actually do the actions in there. I mean, you can go into when you got projects, you can. That's why I said you want to put the prompts in there that activate that. So if it's ARV and comps, that's why I was telling everybody to set up like an ARV and comp project.
Yeah. But like primarily like learning mode or comms mode that happens inside RCIC core?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The modes are in core. They're not in yours.
Okay.
Yeah, let me try to see one more way to get to this. Let's go real quick. Sometimes it gets stuck on me because of having to do Zoom, just so everybody who's know kind of knows that. So I'm trying to get back to real quick how to get it. There's apps and stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to so yeah. So I mean I'll have to show that to you guys probably. I'll have to print it out, but I get it rather, and I did post it. Let me go. What I'll do is after this, I'll find it in my Facebook because I posted it last week. I posted it on Monday. So let me go ahead and find it, and I'll just send it to you guys on Facebook at Messenger. And you can see where I posted it. You can see the report that I got. It's pretty cool. So that way you guys can see the information that I get with it's pretty cool that way. Because right now it seems to be like kind of sometimes when you run a Zoom with this, it doesn't work too well.
Yeah, Nate, you may do it. I know this drives me nuts when it gets slow like this.
Yeah,
But I usually I'll tell it when it starts to slow down.
yeah,
I started keeping like an original chat because I don't want to lose all my data in the chats and stuff.
yeah. No,
So
I do
I
this
just
for you
relabel
guys.
like original and new, and I just have it. Hey, capture all this, write me a prompt, and then I'll start a new one.
Yeah, no, that's I do that sometimes. I just don't do it sometimes when I'm doing a Zoom because I'm talking to you guys and I kind of like
Yeah, no,
all
I
of a
get
sudden I
it.
get stuck in something. I try to tell people that. No, because people are like, do you want some video? You want to edit these? I'm like, I don't want to edit these. I think people actually like the way we deliver it. That everybody has these conversations. I don't even want to edit these. I want these to be raw and I want people, you know, I don't know. It's just I have a way that I just want everybody to be like casual and like just go build your business. Don't have to worry about, a lot of things.
Well, and everybody runs into these kind of issues, and if you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to get around it.
Well, the thing that doesn't help is that what happens is that they don't really do a good job of Zoom moves things around. Put it that way. This is the Zoom thing, not an RCIC thing. And like there used to be a button where I could use to just get rid of the screen and go, and then come back into it. So I'm gonna try to refresh. There we go. All right, now I can do refresh. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. So let me try the other one. That besides Colorado, because it was not coming up as it was like I thought. Let me see which one it was. I'll go to this one and see if this comes up. Because I get these rather lengthy, and they have all the links, they have all the off ramps. It'll tell me go here, go here. It'll actually tell me, like in my counties, what's doing the same thing. It just may be like it's just slow tonight for some reason. Just keep that in mind, everybody, that everything can slow down a little bit. I got another way I can show you guys really quick. Let me go to project. Let me real quick and show that. Here we go, distress intelligence, because that has the memory. You guys should all have one kind of like this, a project, distress intelligence, EDI, legal publication intelligence. There's only one person in our group that's doing legal publications, which is it was fascinating trying to set it up. Can you off ramp link me to Arapahoe? Actually, let's go to Jefferson County. Colorado, AHJ for foreclosures. Cool. So here you guys go. It has all the information. I can find everything about Jefferson County. Obviously, this is where I actually live. Which if you guys see on the map, Jefferson County is like Lakewood, Golden, Arvada, Wheat Ridge, Evergreen, Conifer. You guys will see on the map. The west side, goes into the foothills. But it has the primary foreclosure portal and info and the direct search. So I'm gonna go ahead. I may have to go directly. Let me see if I have to go directly through that. Okay. Let me see if it'll open it directly. Sometimes there it goes. Oh, they have a 404. Oh, there. No, they don't. That's cool. All right. Let me see. My manager goes. Normally it takes me right to it, so it could have an issue in Jefferson County. It's not an RCIC issue. Keep that in mind. Sometimes you get a little. Sometimes you might get a little hang up. It's just because of the. Sometimes it's because of the actual jurisdiction that you're in might be doing some kind of work on their website. If I was, 7 or 8 jurisdictions that I was checking for foreclosures and all that, keep in mind, once you only have to really do this manually for like the first 30 days, eventually it starts pretty much automating it. But yeah, so if I was doing more jurisdictions, I would just go to another jurisdiction and kind of pass on it because there may be a reason where it's, some reason why it's not coming up as well. Let's see if I got search for foreclosure. Yeah, they're doing something too, and because there's even a big deal with the freaking they were doing something with the county's IT department. It's like agent. All right, so foreclosures. So keep in mind that link that I just showed you, which we call an off ramp, and the on ramps back to RCIC, is would normally take you right to this. That's the first one I want on that said it was a 404. Some reason it's on the county's end, it's not on the RCIC or the GPT side. So this will go to like foreclosure property search, and you do have to normally sometimes do manually the accept terms. Is everybody able to see this? If not, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. I'm going to reshare. So you guys can see where it says Jefferson foreclosure search, right? Okay. So if you guys have the foreclosure number already, the borrower grantor's name, the zip code, the address, subdivision, that kind of information, you can search that way. When you guys are really starting out, like those market guides I give you, you may want to just go ahead and start going to those links in those market guides and start, getting the information, learning about those jurisdictions, because you've probably never dealt with it at the level. You've got it from PropStream, you've got the information from other prop tech companies or list sellers who have that information. They don't want you to know this. So you're able to go and now and able to search this information. So let me go ahead and show you guys. This is my county, the entire month, and I'm going to put the entire month of March, and I can go search, right? And guess what? 41 records pop up right now. So I'll try to see if I can find one neighborhood that I kind of recognize. Westgate's kind of interesting. Oh, Eastman Place. I used to have a friend that lived there, that area. I'm trying to see if there's anything in Solterra. Is kind of a cool area. So if you guys know Red Rocks, what Red Rocks is, the amphitheater. You guys see a lot of like the Under the Blood Red Sky by YouTube was an 80s, like 85 or 86 music video. It was pouring rain. They almost had to evacuate, and YouTube finished they're getting drenched. The band and all that's pretty cool, classic music video. I'm gonna try to pull one of these up real quick to show you guys. I'm gonna go to pull up this one, this Williamsburg. So you guys are gonna get the foreclosure details. Are you guys able to see this?
Yes, we can see it.
Yep. So you get the foreclosure details, address, subdivision, legal description. You get the current owners, and you get their address. Keep in mind something. This is Oregon. Guess what? If you have to skip trace, you now have this is the address where they actually are, which is not in Colorado, obviously. So guess what? Keeps that address in mind. It'll actually be on the documents. So when you enter the documents, you don't have to really do this manually for about the first 30 days. Eventually, the system will start sending you all this stuff. But yeah, you got the information now that you can use to skip trace. So it's gonna have all your documents. You're gonna get down. This one's the news is basically they have to publicize it, put it in a newspaper. There's the NED, the Notice of Election Demand, and here's a couple of the documents. For some circumstances, I'm not really going to open these here. If you guys want an ad or something, I can send you what one looks like. But it has like CDOT, which is called the Department of Transportation. So there's some different things in there that you get information. Withdrawal. There's nothing in the withdrawal yet because it hasn't been withdrawn. Here's the initial holders bid information for the mortgage company. Once there's a sale, which will be here in July 16th, all this will be populated. There's for lieners that have second or third lieners for this foreclosure. They would be listed there if there are any. Publications, it's going to be in the golden transcript because Jefferson County is cheap and it's only like $10 to put it in there. Mailings, so it has to tell you what all the mailings are. So guess what? Now you've got addresses for Michael Brumble. You got the lending company. You got addresses for Jessica Brumble. This address is obviously in Oregon. There's another one here in Springfield, Oregon. So now you got 2 addresses. What does that help? You're skip tracing. This is Holiday Watkins and Mann on Union Boulevard. Because I know my office used to be on Union Boulevard when I was in construction. That was right across the street from this. That's the lawyer for the mortgage company. So, like I said, then you get into Holiday Watkins and Mann. There you go. And that's their website. This is for the mortgage company. So you could go to the mortgage company and try to make a short sale deal. You could just go to their law firm. All the deed information is here. All the cure information is here. Here's the basics. Guess what? You also now get into the deed of trust. And guess what? You now have the loan information. FMA, the original was 401,799. The outstanding principal was 333,809.13. Outstanding principal balance at date. So they just got it, October. Interest rate is 6.25%. It's adjustable. Freedom Mortgage Company. And you have all that information. Bankruptcy, there's no bankruptcy, there's no temporary restraining orders. Here's the address again. So keep that in mind. So let me try to see what I can do with this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and really quick, I'm going to actually, I've got the NED now, because I don't really need anything else. I'm going to go back to, I'm just going to go back and, okay, we pulled a NED.
This is really helpful for me, Nate, to see you do this walkthrough and like what you do with those 43 leads. You just capture those and then send them.
Yeah, and you can actually just copy and
skip.
paste them with your mouse and put all 41 or 43 in one time.
Yeah.
Or some jurisdictions will have a list. There is actually like a list. You can just like save it as a PDF as one. As a address.
And then you just put that whole list into your deal analysis.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need like your NED.
Yeah, you want to start putting out your distress intelligence and then work your way down those projects. Like I said, you eventually, as you do that, you're training the system. So like I keep saying, you eventually don't have to keep doing it, but it will train the system.
But are you giving it the NED also or no?
I'm doing it right now.
I know, but like we talked about copying that list as 43 leads.
Yeah. Well, because if you copy the list, it's going to go through all those properties. And if you have your buy box in there, you can compare that entire list to your buy box. And it'll start looking at it. In just a matter of a few minutes, it could go through 43 and actually pare down maybe 5 that meet your buy box. So you're getting
when it's doing that, is it looking at the documents like the NED?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because it'll start looking at the properties and just what's out there, Zillow, Redfin, and all that. You'll see it flash, just like when we joked about like it talking to itself. Yeah, you'll see it flash. It'll be like all the different real estate websites. So here you guys can use the foreclosure facts, public trustee, grantors, property, original loan, current unpaid loan, filing date is very fresh, March. With the Oregon address likely means is a skip trace hit, forwarding relocation, family property,
So
potential
we
mail.
can't see your screen, whatever you're talking about right now.
Okay, thanks for telling me that.
Yeah.
I know I have to do that every week. Okay, let me start over then. Okay, so like I said, then you've got, I put that NED in. And like I said, you could put all 43 in and compare it to your buy box. So this obviously has the public trustee, the grantors, the property, the original loan, the current unpaid, when the filing date was, and this is all from the NED, to the NED. What the Oregon address likely means, it's skip trace hit, forwarding relocation family property. So you've got that second address in Oregon, a potential mailing address used by borrower post default, less likely possible related party or inherited property, but it has the same name. So unless it's like, like you have a male, like a father, grandfather, son, they all have the same name, 1, 2, and 3. So they may not longer occupy the condo property. Higher probability of distress. It's telling you that signal. You now have a multi-state contact vector, which most investors miss. Nobody's giving you that information. Then the prop stream or deal machine is going to tell you there's a second address. Tactical next steps, confirm occupancy. You can do drive-by, you can do Google Street View, and you can do neighborhood ping. I'm working on neighborhood ping. It's a way to, it's just an interesting thing I'm looking at. I don't know if I'm able to pull it off, but I'm working on it. You can stack your contact channels. You have the subject property. You have an Oregon address. Names are distinctive, high match confidence. You can add the phone append for the batch prop stream. All of them can do it, but you should be able to skip traces without having to pay for it. Email append, you got relatives, skip trace expansion, you got a mail strategy, you got the Littleton property, Elmira. Elmira, Oregon cannot be that big. So my sister lives in Oregon, in Tigard, and I'm sure Elmira is not that big. So I might be able to find those people pretty easily. Colorado letter, you got the Oregon letter. The time in this net is March 2026. You're early in the cycle. Colorado timeline is 110 to 225 days. The sale date's July 16th. So you got literally almost 3 months to actually try to make a deal. So you're in pre-combined cure reinstatement window. Best time for a subject to a reinstatement plus wrap, a cash settlement. Where a wholesaler is going to benefit is basically go out and start looking at doing, a subject to or reinstatement and trying to, there's just some different avenues. You got all the avenues you need at this point. The entity explicitly says the lien may not be a first lien. So it could be a second position foreclosure. If true, strategy changes completely. You'd target carrying senior lien versus takeover. So there it's giving you a strategy. And if you do all 43, it comes up. You may have other ones that don't have a second, that isn't that situation. Your buy box may fit a different property more. This is still looks like a good deal, but if your buy box is at, you spend some time on there, it may not recommend this. It might recommend another property or 2 or 3 other properties over it. You're not just looking at foreclosure, you're looking at a possibly non-owner occupied borrower with cross-strait footprint and early stage default. This is one of the highest converting profiles in this channel. So build a contract script tailored to the scenario or a map deal structure based on whether this is first. And I'm going to have it do both. Save it as PDFs, and I will get you everybody on this the PDFs after. There's one PDF. So yeah, so what do you guys think? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so like you just put all 43, put in the file. You can copy and paste. Some jurisdictions, like if I go to Arapahoe County, like earlier, Arapahoe County actually has a way you can just pull a whole PDF of like 43 properties, and it's like a list. And it has the base information, usually the 5 most important things. And you put that in your buy box, then I'll start looking at those properties, and I'll start pulling. It might pull out of 43, like I said, maybe 5 properties. And then it can even rank them and say first, second, third, fourth. It can rank them. So as soon as it saves the PDF, I'm going to go ahead and do that, the YouTube stuff. And then we're going to bail tonight. And then tomorrow night, we'll probably spend an hour and a half to 2 hours. But this is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy. So I'm just going to download the PDFs. I'm not going to have it really refine it. So I'm going to go back to capital intelligence. Okay. Okay. I am processing the Zoom to upload to YouTube. Can you generate a title? So now it'll give me a couple of different titles to choose from. Hashtags plus a visual. That is under 1.99 megabytes for YouTube requirements. Also, we visited an AHJ in Colorado, pulled a med and showed how to use it in distress. Distress intelligence. Pretty cool. I'm more impressed by it now. Obviously, like I said, applied. We're doing it. I'm going to see what it's going to do. Like I said, everyone that's in RCIC can get it no matter what. I just don't know what form it delivers in. If it's like a GPT or something like that. People have to make a decision if they want to have both Claude and a GPT. They're both the same price. But if not, then I'm going to find another solution where you can access everything in Claude without having it. I'm working on that. I'll know by the end of the month. It's going to take me most of the month. Because what I was saying earlier, I think before everybody checked in, is that I'm paying $20 a month for each subscription. That doesn't include this account that I'm on with Jesse. It's $60 a month. It goes to 50 on Friday because they give us a price break. But my other ones are 20 and 20. And so OpenAI with GPT, I can be on it for like the rest of I could be on it for an entire year without sleep or eating or anything, and it won't limit me. Whereas Claude, it limits me, even if it's $20 a month. They want you to go to the $100 a month plan. So I can only I spend like an hour and a half, and then it limits me, and then I can't do anything for 2 or 3 hours. But it's coming out pretty impressive. Look at that. That's a pretty cool visual. And then the title, description, tags, and
Yeah, you may want to have it clean up the department title.
where is it?
Building department. It's got 2 P's in there.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I'll go in there just because sometimes it doesn't work out that well. I'll go in there and like get my Luna pick. If you ever guys want a free photo editor, Luna, like Lunar, LUNA pick, it's free. I can go in there. I'll just make like a mark or something over there. I'll make like a note or something like in red that kind of hides it. Because sometimes if you guys have noticed, sometimes it'd be really awesome, but there's like one typo, and then you try to do it and it won't duplicate the really awesome. And it's like, I hate that. That's the one thing that, there's still, yeah. Thanks for pointing that out though, because I would have posted that without saying it. And it's always somebody that's out there like, hey, I don't know. I've had people like that before.
Yeah, I've just started looking. Let me read all the words and make sure that's right.
Well, it's been
Give me
really
those
good
IDs.
because there's some times where it makes a really horrible one. Like, dude, is that like written in like Russian or something like that? Like,
Yeah.
And I have a visual image generator project, and I was really successful at this, but it hasn't. I don't know, man. This is on YouTube, so this will be on YouTube, so I don't know exactly how. I mean, it's supposed to be sometimes you're supposed to get more, but I don't do it to monetize. You guys will see I get 25 or 30 or 50 people, and it's usually people in our group to go look. I just use it because YouTube's free for me to post all these. I have 500 videos, 500 YouTube videos since 2022. So if I was trying to monetize it, I'd be paying somebody to do it. One of those people that said, I can get like 10,000 followers in like a day, for like $100 or whatever. So here you go. So this is pretty good. So I'll be posting this later. All right. Don's coming on. Hey, Jesse, are you still on? Let me get Don. Jesse came on for a second. Oh, Don's coming on right now. Don, what's going on?
What's up, Nate? How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Yeah. So hey, when do you want to do your one-on-one?
We can do it Friday morning or tomorrow morning. I'm fine with that.
Okay. What about Friday? Can you do it at like 12:30 my time? Or
Yes, that'll be
okay,
perfect.
because I got an hour and a half set aside for you if you wanted that slot.
Yep,
It's just
I'll
like
take it.
my time will do it. We're actually kind of wrapping up now, but I'll get you the video. Did some pretty cool stuff, but I think
Okay,
I think you'll benefit more from the one-on-one.
okay.
But yeah, dude, it's pretty cool. Then we can talk about yeah, everything else we've been talking about the last week.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, I got you. We'll just going. Yeah, so
Okay.
12:30. I'll send you a link on Friday morning about 8:39 my time, and you'll
Okay.
have 12:30. We'll spend an hour and a half.
All right, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
be
I'll
prepared to
I'll check out the
share.
video once you send it
Yeah,
for
and then be
today's
prepared.
lesson.
Yeah, be prepared to show me your screen. So have yours up, and then we'll do Zoom, and then I'll log in. Then you can share your screen
Okay.
and have your
You use Team Viewer or what do you do?
I just use Zoom. I'll send you the link just like here.
Okay. Okay.
You just have your RCIC just up in your taskbar where like mine is. You can see that on my bottom of my taskbar. I have it. So that way you can
Okay.
share your screen, or you might have your screen up ahead of time. Show me what point you're at now in onboarding, and I'll walk you through that.
Okay. All right.
Cool. All right, thanks.
All right,
Everybody.
man.
I'll see everybody tomorrow night, same time, 5 o'clock my time.
Tomorrow night. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll do your one-on-one. Cool.
Peace.
Sounds good. We'll see y'all. Appreciate it, Nate.
Yeah, and Fred, I'll
Thank
do
you,
one of
Dave.
you. Let me know when you want one.
Okay.
Yep, we'll do.
We can go over yours. Yep. Cool. All right, everybody.